Tuesday. Thank you, Senator. Senator from the 46th is up and at 'em early today. He's got a little kick in his step. The hour of convening has arrived, and the Senate will now come to order. At this time, I'd like to ask that all unauthorized persons exit this beautiful chamber for the purposes of us doing our business. The chair would like to recognize his good friend, the distinguished, honorable senator from almost Tennessee, from the 53rd.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning. It is a wonderful day. We appreciate your leadership on behalf of all Georgians. I don't really have anything exciting to say, except the senator from the 46 told me that today is National Baked Alaska Day and one of his favorite desserts. The journal's been read and found to be correct, Mr. President.
Do you happen to like baked Alaska?
I like anything dessert, yes, sir.
He'll eat anything. Friends like that, who needs enemies? Is there objection to dispensing with the reading of the journal? The chair hears none, and the reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there objection to the confirmation of the journal? The chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. All senators who have bills or resolutions, please bring them to the Secretary's desk at this time. Mr. Secretary, first reading of Senate bills and resolutions, please.
Senate Bill 399 by Senator Burns of the 23rd, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act providing for a 7-member Board of Education of McDuffie County approved
State and local government.
By Senate Bill 400 by Senator Burns of the 23rd, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of McDuffie County approved February 16th, 1955.
State and local government.
Senate Bill 401 by Senator Burns of the 23rd, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act providing for a Board of Commissioners of Jefferson County approved
State and local government.
Senate Bill 402 by Senator Burns of the 23rd, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act providing for the election of members of the Board of Education of Jefferson County, approved March 20th.
State and local government.
Senate Bill 403 by Senators Watson of the 1st and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Title 37 of the OCGA relating to mental health so as to enact the Georgia
Health and Human Services.
Senate Bill 404 by Senators Albers of the 56 and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Article 3 of Chapter 11 of Title 31 of the OCGA relating to emergency medical services personnel.
Public safety.
Senate Bill 405 by Senators Harbison of the 15th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 8 of Title 48 of the OCGA relating to sales and use taxes so as to exempt certain nonprofit organizations supporting veterans.
Finance.
That completes the order, Mr. President.
First reading in reference of House bills and resolutions, please.
House Bill 881 by Representatives Williamson of the 115th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Walton County approved August 1st, 1929 as amended.
State and local government.
House Bill 890 by Representatives Gaines of the 117th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act providing for the unification of the existing government.
State and local government.
House Bill 942 by Representatives Wade of the 9th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Dawson County approved
State and local government.
House Bill 943 by Representatives Wade of the 9th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act providing for an elected Board of Education.
State and local government.
House Bill 944 by Representative Holmes of the 129th, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Jasper County approved.
State and local government.
House Bill 947 by Representatives Holmes of the 129th, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act reconstituting the Board of Education of Jasper County.
State and local government.
House Bill 948 by Representatives Rhodes of the 120th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act providing for the election of members of the Board of Education of Wilkes County, approved March 18th.
State and local government.
House Bill 949 by Representatives Rhodes of the 120th, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Oglethorpe County.
State and local government.
House Bill 950 by Representative Rhodes of the 120th, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act providing for the election of members of the Board of Education of Oglethorpe County.
State and local government.
House Bill 951 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act providing for a Board of Commissioners of Elbert County approved.
State and local government.
House Bill 952 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act reconstituting and recreating the Board of Education of Elbert County approved.
State and local government.
House Bill 953 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Educationers of Lincoln County approved February 25th, 1949.
State and local government.
House Bill 954 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act providing for the election of members of Board of Education of Lincoln County.
State and
approved.
local government.
House Bill 955 by Representatives Williams of the 148th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Crisp County, approved August 6, 1908.
State and local government.
House Bill 956 by Representatives Williams of the 148th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to reconstitute the Board of Education of Crisp County
State and local government.
House Bill 957 by Representative Parrish of the 158th, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act to reconstitute the Board of Education of Candler County, approved January 15,
State and
1993.
local government.
House Bill 958 by Representative Parrish of the 158th, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Candler County.
State and
approved.
local government.
House Bill 959 by Representative Smith of the 133rd and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act relating to the Board of Commissioners of Harris
State
County.
and local government.
That completes the order, Mr. President.
I hope to not have to say state and local government the rest of the day. Mr. Secretary, will you please read bills and resolutions for the second time?
Senate Bill 231 by Senator Anna Vitarte of the 31st and others, education pilot program, individuals between ages 21 and 35 who have not attained a high school diploma provide. Senate Bill 369 by Senator Dixon of the 45th and others, a Board of Education of Gwinnett County, future elections for members of the Board of Education shall be nonpartisan provide. That completes the order, Mr. President.
All right, it's now time for our morning roll call. It is now time for morning roll call. Are there any motions to excuse? The chair recognizes the majority whip.
Good morning, Mr. President. I'd like to ask for unanimous consent to excuse the senator from the 21st District.
Without objection, the senator from the 21st is excused. The chair recognizes his good friend who's missing in action from the 33rd. There he comes. He's getting his list together.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, y'all. I ask for unanimous consent to excuse the senators from the 22nd, 17th, 15th, 10, 37, and 29.
Without objection, the senators from the 22nd, 17th, 15th, 10th, 37th, and 29th are excused. The chair recognizes the senator from the 28th with a nice haircut.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, and good morning. I ask for unanimous consent that we excuse the senator from the 27th.
Without objection, the senator from the 27th is excused. The chair recognizes the senator from the 2nd.
Mr. President, I ask for unanimous consent to excuse the senators from the 10th and the 5th.
Without objection, the senators from the 10th and the 5th are excused. Are there any additional motions to excuse? The chair sees none. The secretary will call the roll of senators. Signify your presence by voting the yea switch. The secretary will unlock the machine. All right, it's now time for a morning devotional. And I would ask that all senators take your seats. All senators take your seats and cease all audible conversations as we prepare for the chaplain of the day. Doorkeepers, please secure the chamber at this time. It's my honor to recognize the senator from the 42nd to lead us in our pledge and to introduce to us our chaplain of the day.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please rise for the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Georgia flag. allegiance to the Georgia flag and to the principles for which it stands, wisdom, justice, and moderation. Good morning, Senate colleagues. Hope everyone had a nice break. It is my honor today to present the chamber with the chaplain of the day. Our chaplain is Rabbi Ari Kamen. Rabbi Kamen loves just about everyone. He loves to sing and pray with his community. He loves a good conversation after a delicious Shabbat meal. He loves learning with children, teens, and adults. He cherishes every moment of life, the good and the hard. Rabbi Kamen found a deep sense of purpose and infinite inspiration from his teachers at the Ziegler School of Rabbinic Studies. He received his rabbinic ordination with a concentration in philosophy in 2011. After ordination, Rabbi Kamen served as the assistant rabbi at Congregation B'nai Amunah in St. Louis for 5 years. Rabbi Kamen joined Congregation Shereth Israel, the first Jewish congregation in DeKalb County, in 2016. Shereth Israel is a congregation dedicated to serving the community as well as its membership. It's the first Jewish congregation in the country to found a homeless shelter for women that continues to operate today. The members actively serve the children of Atlanta by creating backpacks of food to bridge the gap when students supported by public school meals go home for the weekend. They partner with New American Pathways in sponsoring a refugee family from Ethiopia. Rabbi Kamen is a current member of a cohort of rabbis exploring the intersection of academia and the pulpit with the University of Pennsylvania, among many other professional associations. Please join me this morning in welcoming Rabbi Ari Kamen.
Thank you so much. Well, good morning, everyone. I want to thank President Duncan and Senator Parent for this incredible honor. In addition to it being Baked Alaska Day, apparently, it's also in the Jewish calendar Rosh Chodesh Adar, the new month of Adar, in which we say that from the time that the month of Adar begins, we increase in joy. And I am truly overjoyed to be here. Ever since I was in high school taking AP Government at Walton High School with Mr. Oberland, I thought, well, maybe this would be the thing that I do with my life one day. But I was called into the service of reflecting God's universal, infinite light into the particular color of Judaism when I was in college. Even within Judaism, God's light has always been shown in different hues. And it's our culture to fiercely debate what God wants of us. Our study halls, our loud, raucous places, where we pore over ancient texts in the pursuit of truth today. We don't have doorkeepers like Bob Brown to keep the decorum. Some of these debates, they never end. We learn in a collection of wisdom called Pirkei Avot, assembled over the 1st and 2nd centuries, that every dispute that is for the sake of heaven will in the end endure. But one that is not for the sake of heaven, that will not endure. What are the controversies that are for the sake of heaven? We are taught the debates between Hillel and Shammai. And the controversy is not for the sake of heaven. Such was the controversy of Korach and his followers when they tried to overthrow Moses. 15th century Italian commentator Ovadia Bartonora said that the debates between Hillel and Shammai were debates in the pursuit of truth. But the debate of Korach and his followers were for the pursuit of power. Thus, they will not endure. I like to believe that your debates in this hallowed hall of representatives are of the former, that you're here to pursue truth. Certainly, at the end of any debate, there's a vote, and a vote leads to a law. And you might think that's the end. But it was also the case with Hillel and Shammai. And in just about every case, the law went with Hillel. There was one case where, for 3 whole years, the debate raged. And the house of Shammai said the law should go according to our opinion, and the house of Hillel said the law should go according to our opinion. And finally, a voice from heaven came out and proclaimed, Elu ve'elu divrei Elohim Chaim. Both these and these are the words of the living God. But the law goes according to Hillel. And they ask why? What was it about Hillel that in almost every case, even though the debate raged and both these and these were the words of the living God, why was it that Hillel would win? We're taught that the house of Hillel was kind and patient, that they would teach the words of Shammai even before they would teach their own words. Here in the Senate, you are here to perpetuate the principles of free government, ensure justice to all, preserve peace, promote the interests and happiness of the citizen and of the family, and transmit to posterity the enjoyment of liberty. We, the people of Georgia, relying upon the protection and guidance of Almighty God, do ordain and establish this Constitution from our preamble. So today, I want to bless you to be like Hillel, to have the strength of kindness and patience in your disposition, to have wisdom and understanding, not only to know and teach your own Torah, your own opinions, your own truth, but understand fully the truth of your opponents, to be able to share their words even before your own, and to never argue in the pursuit of power, and all lies at the end perhaps are in the pursuit of power. Because a lie in pursuit of power leads to an argument that will not endure, an argument that is not for the sake of heaven. So I want to bless all of you with the strength that your arguments are for the sake of heaven, and may each of you be blessed in representing the great people of the state of Georgia. Amen.
Are there any unanimous consents? The chair sees none. Does any senator wish to rise on a point of personal privilege? The chair recognizes the senator from the 48th for a point of personal privilege.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to wish everyone a happy Lunar New Year. Today is the first day of the Year of the Tiger, which some cultures believe is a zodiac sign that symbolizes strength, bravery, and the exorcism of evil. Chinese culture has a number of customs for Lunar New Year that I'm going to talk about, and these customs are thought to bring good luck. One of these customs is wearing red. I don't usually wear red for, number of reasons, but you can see I'm wearing red today. Some other customs include cleaning the house in order to sweep away bad luck from the last year, giving out red envelopes with money, setting off fireworks to frighten away evil spirits, and eating auspicious foods like dumplings, fish, and mandarin oranges. And while peaches are not a customary food for the Lunar New Year, probably because they're not in season, it's probably good to note that from the Georgia State Legislature that in Chinese culture, peaches are a blessed fruit that symbolize longevity. And I believe that because every day in this building can feel like 100 years. So the most important part of Lunar New Year is spending time with family, paying respect to our ancestors, and laying the groundwork for the year that lies ahead. And although many of us are unable to be with our families this new year, I'm happy to be with this family we have here and that we've made together in this chamber, and I hope that together we can work together in the Year of the Tiger to embody the strength, bravery, and good work in the face of evil that we take up in service to the state of Georgia. So happy Lunar New Year to everyone. Sun Nin Fai Lo Gong Hei Fat Choi. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the well.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 32nd for a point of personal privilege.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't know if y'all remember last week, but on your desk last week was recognition that today is Skin Cancer Awareness Day. So if you stop by room 216 downstairs, you can get some sunscreen, and some of y'all need to put that on your head. So I hope that you'll stop by and visit them. Mr. President, I yield the well.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 42nd for a point of personal privilege.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am so excited this morning to tell everyone that it is Girl Scout Day at the Capitol. I know, we're not doing our usual, presentations here on the floor, so we don't have any cookies this year, but I can tell you that the Girl Scouts have been very active in their communities selling a lot of cookies. And so we do want to take this minute to remind everyone how important the Girl Scouts are and all of the good work that they do in leadership development. Of course, the Girl Scouts were founded more than a century ago by native Savannah Juliette Gordon Lowe. I know, very, a big point of pride for us here in the state of Georgia. The life mission of Juliette Gordon Lowe was to build girls of courage, confidence, and character. And the leadership experience of the Girl Scouts encourages girls to develop a strong sense of self, connect with their communities both locally and globally, and feel empowered to make a difference in the world. I know that many of our women legislators were Girl Scouts and have gone through that leadership development program. I am one of them, and it's just amazing to see that this movement started by Juliette Gordon Lowe reaches every corner of the world today. And there are 75,000 Girl Scout members just here in the state of Georgia. So we have a lot of Girl Scouts, or some anyway, up here in the gallery. If y'all would stand, and everyone please join me in welcoming and honoring the Girl Scouts today. We are so happy to have you with us and look forward to hopefully next year you can be down on the floor with us. Thank you for being with us, and go Girl Scouts. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the well.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 39th for a point of personal privilege.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yesterday morning, 6 of this country's most hallowed institutions, all historically black colleges and universities, were thrown into a state of chaos and fear. Our very own Albany State University, Southern University and A&M, Howard University, Bethune-Cookman University, and Bowie State, along with Delaware State University, all received bomb threats, forcing students to hide in their dorm rooms while classes were canceled. And this wasn't just an isolated incident either, because just a few weeks ago, 3 HBCUs received bomb threats as well. And today, on the very first day of Black History Month, we received word that again, 13 more HBCUs had bomb threats, including Fort Valley State University and Spelman College here in Atlanta.
Senator, if you could suspend for one moment. If we could take our conversations off the Senate floor, I would appreciate it. The senator in the well deserves our attention and our respect. Thank you. Go ahead and proceed.
Thank you. In recent months, our institutions of learning have come under assault by some people in the country and in this state. And for so long, we have recognized colleges and universities as places of learning, places where young people could grow and develop the skills to change the world. These schools are where people are studying medicine, physics, law, history, and everything in between. And you wouldn't know it from some of the rhetoric being thrown around lately. At the beginning of the 2010s, 60% of people said that colleges have a positive effect on this country, and now that number has gone down to 50%. And almost 40% of the country believes that colleges are having a negative effect on the country right now. Rather than celebrate education and critical thinking, too many people are bludgeoning our places of higher learning for political gain. As these bomb threats have shown, that rhetoric has real consequences. We have a responsibility to encourage debate, foster curiosity, teach critical thinking in our places of higher learning. The attacks, both literal and rhetorical, against our schools need to stop. Right now, we're lucky that these threats have not been followed by action, and the FBI is investigating deeply. But if we don't change course immediately, it's only a matter of time before people get hurt. Thank you. I yield the well.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 34th for a point of personal privilege.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to make sure that you all get it correct. I was attempting last week to remind those who are not in the metro area to don't forget to pack your red for Go Red this week. Now, many of you have come to me and said, I thought Go Red was today. Well, Go Red is Thursday here at the Capitol. Yeah, you were one of them. I saw it. It's all good. You can still wear it again. Okay? Go Red for Women is Thursday. We are not in on Friday. So on Thursday, even if you wore your red today, if you don't have any more red, we're not going to shame you or anything. You can wear your red again on Thursday. Now, in addition to that, this card, can you all see it? I know it's far away. It's red. And this card says, you have the power. You have the power to contribute and become a member of the American Heart Association. I began last week by saying, do you know a heart attack survivor? Well, I'm reminding you today, I am a survivor, so you know me. Please give, wear your red on Thursday. Today is, what today? Tuesday, okay, come on. So after Tuesday come, and after Wednesday come, Thursday, go Red Day. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Now I'm confused. What day is it? It ends in a Y. Today ends in a Y. I know that. Chair recognizes the senator from the 43rd for a point of personal privilege.
Bring my whole notebook up here.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning. Today is the first day of Black History Month, and it is a time to celebrate the accomplishments and history of Black Americans. The origins of National History Month week dates back to 1926 when Carter G. Woodson first established Negro History Week during the second week in February. It is thought he chose that week because it encompasses the birthdays of President Abraham Lincoln and abolitionist Frederick Douglass. The movement spread during the Civil Rights Movement, expanding to encompass the entire month. Since 1976, every U.S. president has officially designated the month of February as Black History Month. As our nation celebrates Black History Month, our Commander-in-Chief sent this message, and I quote, "February, National Black History Month, serves as both a celebration and a powerful reminder that Black history is American history. Black culture is American culture, and Black stories are essential to the ongoing story of America. Our faults, our struggles, our progress, and our aspirations. Shining a light on Black history today is an important to understanding ourselves and growing stronger as a nation as it has ever been. That is why it is essential that we take time to celebrate the immeasurable contributions of Black Americans and the growing honor the legacies and achievements of generations past, reckon and with centuries of injustice, and confront those injustices that still fester today. Our nation was founded on an idea that all of us are created equal and deserve to be treated with equal dignity throughout our lives," end quote. As we celebrate Black History Month, we celebrate the inventions of open heart surgery. We celebrate Black doctors. As we celebrate Black History Month, we celebrate Garrett Morgan, the inventor of the traffic light, George Washington Carver, a Black scientist who invented crop rotation and created 300 different uses for peanuts. When we celebrate Black History Month, we celebrate Lewis Howard Latimer, the inventor of the air conditioner. We celebrate Elisha Graves Otis, the inventor of the elevator. The Otis elevator, the inventor. We celebrate Granville Taylor Woods, the first Black mechanical and electrical engineer. Patricia Bath, inventing laser contact surgery. Henry Blair invented the seed planter, so he must have been a Black farmer. Andrew Jackson Beard, who introduced 2 improvements to the automatic railroad coupler car coupler in 1897 and again in 1899. And the list goes on and on and on. When we celebrate Black History Month, we celebrate Black excellence. We celebrate HBCUs. We celebrate educators, attorneys, judges, musicians, entertainers, and the arts, and much, much more. Happy National Black History Month. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the will.
Thank you, Senator. Chair recognizes the senator from the 40th for the purpose of introducing the Doctor of the Day.
Thank you, Mr. President. My constituent, Dr. Alex Gross, is our Doctor of the Day today. He is evidently very busy in the medical aid station and hasn't been able to come up to the chamber this morning. Hopefully none of us will need to go see him in the medical aid station. Dr. Gross, he received his Bachelor of Science degree in biology from Emory University and attended medical school at the University of South Florida's College of Medicine. Upon receiving his medical degree, he completed an internship and residency in internal medicine at Emory University. He then completed a dermatology residency and fellowship at Vanderbilt University. After completing his residency at Vanderbilt, Dr. Gross made Georgia his home. His full-time practice is Georgia Dermatology in Cumming. He is married and has 2 adult sons. His interests outside of dermatology include love of all types of music, watching professional sports, road biking, and occasionally playing piano, which he and I have in common. Much of Dr. Gross's spare time is spent volunteering and fundraising for numerous philanthropic organizations such as the American Cancer Society, the Arthritis Foundation, and Senior Citizens of Metropolitan Atlanta, Inc., which supports Meals on Wheels Atlanta and other programs that serve North Georgia seniors. Dr. Gross is board certified in both the fields of internal medicine and dermatology. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, you've got a consent calendar of privileged resolutions before you. Does any senator wish to remove a resolution from the consent calendar? The chair sees none. Is there objection to adoption of the resolutions on the consent calendar? The chair hears none, and the resolutions on the consent calendar are adopted. Are there any motions to withdraw and commit? Chair sees none. You have a consent calendar of local bills before you. Mr. Secretary, are there any objections filed to any bills on the local consent calendar? Chair recognizes, for what purpose does the senator from the 33rd rise?
Excuse me, Mr. President, and thank you. I ask for unanimous consent to excuse the senator from the 36th and the 35th, you here? Just the 36th.
35th is here.
Okay.
Just the 36th. Without objection, the senator from the 36th is excused. You have a consent calendar of local bills before you, Mr. Secretary. Are there any objections filed to any bills on the local consent calendar?
Mr. President, there are no objections filed.
Is there objection to agreeing to the report of the Committee on State and Local Government, which is favorable to the passage of the bills on the local consent calendar? The chair hears none, and the report of the committee is agreed to. The questions on the passage of the bills on the local consent calendar. All those in favor vote yea, opposed nay. The Secretary will unlock the machine. On the passage of the bills on the local consent calendar, the yeas are 48, the nays are 1, and the bills having received the requisite constitutional majority are therefore passed. For what purpose does the majority leader rise?
I ask for unanimous consent that Senate Bill 373 on the local consent calendar be immediately transmitted to the House.
The majority leader has asked for unanimous consent to immediately transmit the bill on the local consent calendar SB 373 to the House. Is there objection? The chair hears none, and Senate Bill 373 is immediately transmitted to the House. We are now going to move on to the rules calendar. Mr. Secretary, can you please read the caption of Senate Bill 330?
Senate Bill number 330, a bill by Senator
Just trying to dial in the microphones. The rules chair was in here singing a solo earlier, and the mics are all messed up, so we're working on it. We'll be with you in a second.
Senate Bill number 330, a bill by Senator Albers of the 56 and others. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Title 33 of the OCGA relating to insurance so as to prohibit insurers from canceling, modifying coverage, refusing to issue, or refusing to renew life insurance policies solely because the applicant or insured donator liver or kidney, and for other purposes. That completes the order, Mr. President.
Chair recognizes his good friend, the senator from the 56, to present Senate Bill 330.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, colleagues. It is a sincere honor and privilege for me to present Senate Bill 330, the Giving the Gift of Life Act. As many of you know, this is very personal to me and to my family. Back in August of 2020, my older son, Will, almost lost his life when his kidneys failed and had to go on dialysis. I'll be forever thankful to the doctors, nurses, and staff at Cherokee Northside Hospital for keeping him alive. However, he had to go on dialysis at age 24, which forever changed his and our family's lives. The emotion, as well as the process to become a person able to receive an organ donation or to give, is extraordinary. And we are very fortunate. My wife, Carrie, who is with me today, we're educated. We're super type A personality, and we're pretty darn well connected. Because of all those things and all of the wonderful people that we met along the way, on July 21st, just about 6.5 months ago, Will and I walked into Emory University Hospital, and I donated my kidney to him, and I'm proud to report we are both 100% healed. This is Thank you. This is our calling now, though. Our calling to help other people. And that's what this bill is going to do. I want to thank all those that work in the transplant community and hospitals, all of the foundations, the thousands of families that we have been in contact with. It's truly been humbling. It's not too often I'll be able to stand in front of you and tell you that this bill is going to save lives. Thousands, if not 10,000s of lives here in Georgia. My goal is to get the transplant list down to 0. And you can do that with me today. This bill has several sections. Let me skip to the meat of it. Section 2 was brought to me by the National Kidney Foundation, and they are working on passing this through every state in our nation. It simply says that a life insurance company cannot cancel nor deny insurance to people like me who have been donors of a kidney or a liver, because there is absolutely no change to our livelihood whatsoever. The second part of the bill, in Section 3, is a tax exemption that has been on the books for decades at $10,000. We are raising that to $25,000 for both inflation as well as to make sure we're helping people and not having any barriers to them wanting to be an organ donor. And in Section 4, this is for our businesses. They can apply for a state tax credit to allow that person that is either a donor or a recipient up to 6 weeks or 30 days of paid time off, so they don't lose their job, they don't have to go on FMLA, use all their vacation, sick time, or not get paid at all. This tax credit helps businesses also give the gift of life. This bill is a little unique on when it becomes effective. Section 2 for insurance is our typical July 1st of this year. The 2 tax credit changes are July 1st of 2023 to give time for our folks at the Department of Revenue and the state to have everything put together in a logical and organized manner. There is a fiscal note with this bill, and you will see at the very top end, this could cost the state of Georgia up to $1.7 million. Let me give you some interesting facts. For someone who is in renal failure, like my son Will was, the average cost is $250,000 a year, every single year. However, once a successful transplant's done, the cost is less than 1/10. And most folks who are dealing with that type of failure, over 80%, are utilizing Medicare and or Medicaid, taxpayer dollars. Just based on the fiscal note of $1.7 million, the savings to Georgia would be $62 million. I don't know about you, but that's a pretty good return on an investment. So in summary, today in this chamber, we can do something extraordinary. We can save people's lives. We can encourage people to help by inspiring them and breaking down the barriers to be organ donors, and we can give hope to those who are on that list who are in need of one. Thank you for the opportunity to present this bill in front of you. I'm going to ask you light this board up green behind me when it comes time to vote and send a strong message that here in the Georgia State Senate, we care and we're going to make a big difference. Mr. President, if there are no questions, I would yield the will.
You have a question. Chair recognizes the Dean of the Senate for a question.
Thank you, Mr. President. Isn't it true, Senator, that I greatly respect your efforts and the act that you did, and highly, highly commendable of this bill and support it, and also at the same time aware of the fact that this is a great problem, kidney failure, and that that it affects many, many African Americans, especially. And I just want to commend you publicly for this. It's a great move and highly commendable. And isn't it true that I support this wholeheartedly?
Yes, and thank you so much for your support.
You have no more questions.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 35th to speak to the measure.
Thank you so much. No, that was not the blind leading the blind. He was just helping me. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. And thank you, Senator from the 56th, for this bill. I stand in favor of this legislation. And I, too, have a personal story, so I know firsthand what this bill could have done. My son got killed many years ago by a drunk driver, healthy, beautiful young man that was a senior in high school. And as a result, he was able to donate his heart, lungs, kidney, pancreas, eyes, and the list goes on, nine different, and bone marrow. And all of those people are still, who were recipients, are still living after all these years. It gave them life. Then 4 years after my son died, my husband was diagnosed with renal failure. For 13 years, he was waiting for a kidney. 13 years. Because he had O blood, and everybody can use that particular kidney. So it put him further down the list because he was healthy otherwise. But after 13 years, he didn't make it. By the time they called us for a kidney finally, and to go to Emory in the middle of the night, he had other complications, and he didn't make it. Insurance was a problem too. And he was on dialysis all those years. All that money that was spent when he could have gotten a kidney and survived. So please, if you have any doubts about voting for this legislation, I hope you change and vote yes. Because I can't bring back my husband or my son, but maybe we can save many, many, many lives. So, Mr. President, I yield the will, and I ask for everyone's favorable consideration.
Thank you, Senator, for that heartfelt. Chair recognizes the senator from the 6th to speak to the measure.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to strongly support this bill and the senator from the 56th. While it is focused on living donors, it underscores the vital importance of organ donation. Many have been saved and have been able to take something positive out of a tragedy, like the senator from the 35th. For me, my father died of a stroke when he was 45 years old. And the only thing good that came out of that tragedy is that we were able to donate his organs to 10 individuals. I not only support this bill, but really I encourage our brethren in the House to go further. This one is limited to life insurance. I think we should expand it to health insurance. And then with respect to the category of living donors that are affected, it's limited right now to kidney and liver. I think we should expand it to other living donors, including pancreas, intestine, lung, or bone marrow. It is so incredibly important. And it is truly about encouraging every person in this state to give the gift of life. I yield the well.
Does any other senator wish to speak for or against the measure? The chair sees none. Is there objection agreeing to the report of the committee which is favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Is there objection to the main question being ordered? The chair hears none and the main question is ordered. The question's on the passage of the bill. All those in favor vote yea. Opposed, nay. The secretary will unlock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas are 51, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Great work, Senator. We're going to keep you busy. Mr. Secretary, can you please read the caption of Senate Bill 332?
Senate Bill number 332, a bill to be by Senator Albert of the 56 and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 1 of Title 10 of the OCGA relating to selling and other trade practices so as to provide for certain disclosures by third-party high-volume sellers of consumer products on online marketplaces, to provide for definitions, to require online marketplaces, and for other purposes. That completes the order, Mr. President.
You're on a roll, Senator. Chair recognizes the senator from the 56 to present Senate Bill 332.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hard to follow that one. I'm proud to present Senate Bill 332, called the Informed Consumers Act. I want to thank our Lieutenant Governor, President of this body, as well as this great bipartisan piece of legislation, just like the last one. Many of you in this room have been a part of it. There's information on your desk today to show you all the great organizations that supported them. Our Retail Association, convenience stores, Home Depot, Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, etc., our Cobb County Chamber of Commerce, and others. And the reason for this is a bill that we had passed last year that we're adding the second part to, which is around organized retail crime. Organized retail crime is a very serious and growing problem. Last year, nationally, it cost businesses and ultimately consumers $69 billion, an extraordinary amount of money. In the past, when bad actors stole things, they would typically bring them to a pawn shop. However, we have evolved with online marketplaces. This has allowed those who are committing organized crime acts on a large scale to be able to get their goods sold very quickly. Now, I want to make sure you all understand this is not about a shoplifter. This is much bigger. It's theft for greed and not for need. I'm proud to report that all of the high-tech companies as well as retailers came together earlier this year to work on a federal bill. And what you have here is more than 98% identical to the federal bill, with some minor changes that fall specifically under federal law and guidelines versus state law. And all those tech companies, which you will see, endorsed that bill. So I'll take you very quickly through this bill. While it is a lot of pages, it is very straightforward. Beginning on section 2, this defines a high-volume third-party seller. This is not you or your neighbor who wanted to refinish your grandma's dresser and put it up for sale on the Facebook marketplace. These are folks that are doing 200 or more transactions and $5,000 in gross revenues during any 12-month period. Online marketplaces are everyone you think that they are today, from the large ones of Amazon, eBay, Facebook, Etsy, to hundreds and hundreds more. Third-party sellers are folks that sell on behalf of somebody, as opposed to a direct seller who is selling right from themselves. So you know, many years ago, we did a great job to curb metal theft in the state of Georgia. We came up with a policy to make sure we gathered information from those who are selling that metal to find out later if there was a problem that we could go after them through law enforcement and the criminal justice system to prosecute them. It worked very well, and metal theft has gone down dramatically. We'll apply those very same rules to what's happening here, where we put basic data collection information in place about the person, their bank account, contact information, ID, etc. We give people a 10-day turnaround time to make sure that their information is there and accurate. And if there's a problem, they have up to 10 more days to fix that. If they don't fix it, they will be suspended, but then they'll have that opportunity to get right back online once they are verified. Another important part is disclosure to customers. This is very important because you want to make sure that your private information is being taken and resold, but also you want to make sure that throughout this bill, when you're ordering something online, you're getting it from that place that you're ordering it from. There's protections in place for all the parties. We want to make sure that both the seller and consumer are put in a good place, but proper protections are together. And then it involves our Attorney General, where he can bring civil action, enjoin, enforce, and obtain damages, and do other remedies necessary in order to make sure that we get after the bad actors. This doesn't prohibit any of our local district attorneys, who serve us well, from doing their normal work on a day-to-day basis. This just adds additional scope for the Attorney General, as these are highly organized, usually nationally criminal organizations. And in Section 3, different from a normal bill where we'd go into effect on July the 1st, it will go January 1st of 2023 as well. Again, this was in working with our high-tech partners to make sure that they had ample time to do what they needed to get done. So in summary, the federal law is identical to this law, where everyone isn't supportive. This allows for further innovation while putting the proper protections into place. As I round out this bill, I want to give you a couple of examples of why this is so important. If you are buying baby formula, and that baby formula has been stolen, and it's been sitting in a hot truck for 3 months and then put in an online marketplace, and you bought that for your child, your grandchild, your friends, your families, and neighbor, you could give great harm to that child, and it happens. The same with other type of food and products. We need to make sure that whatever you see has truth in advertising. Mr. President, I want to thank everybody's bipartisan work on this bill. This is a great step forward to not just protect businesses, but also protect consumers who both feel the wrath of this and typically pay the price for this. If there are no questions, I would yield the will.
You have no questions, Senator.
Thank you.
Does any other senator wish to speak for or against the measure? The chair sees none. The question is on the adoption of the committee substitute. Is there objection to adoption of the committee substitute? Chair hears none. The committee sub is adopted. Is there objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which is favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Is there objection to the main question being ordered? The chair hears none, and the main question is ordered. Questions on the passage of the bill by substitute. All those in favor vote yea. Opposed nay. The secretary will unlock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas are 51, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed by substitute. The chair would like to recognize our majority leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate stand adjourned until 10 a.m. on Wednesday, 2 February 2022.
All right, just as a quick reminder that we've got our panoramic photo for tomorrow. I know that the Rules Chairman has been busily shopping for his outfit for tomorrow. I'm anxious to see what it looks like. So tomorrow, the panoramic photo will be in the Senate chamber. Mr. Secretary, do you have any announcements?
The Rules Committee will meet immediately upon adjournment today in room 450. The Higher Education Committee will meet at 1 p.m. today in room 450. The Insurance and Labor Committee will meet in Mez 1 at 1 p.m. today. The Health and Human Services Committee will meet in 450 at 2 p.m. today. The Public Safety Committee will meet in Mez 1 at 2 p.m. today. The Agriculture and Consumer Affairs Committee will meet in Mez 1 at 3 p.m. today. The Regulated Industries and Utilities Committee will meet in 450 at 3 p.m. today. And the Judiciary Committee will meet in 307 of the CLOB at 4 p.m. today. That completes the order, Mr. President.
Is the senator from the 50th still your roommate? Y'all still roommates? Help him coordinate his outfit tomorrow. Pick out his tie for him. Okay. Chair recognizes the senator from the 41st for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today is Youth Equine Day, and so there will be kids who are champions in horse riding, horse showing, all things horses. We're doing a photo op and a little press conference at 12 o'clock on the South Steps. Those of you who come from horse country, which is not DeKalb County, please show up to support these young kids as they continue their adventures in horsing. I don't know. This is not me. So 12 o'clock, please come down and celebrate these national champions.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 40th for an announcement.
I think it's working. Thank you. To the women in the chamber, the Women's Legislative Caucus meets today. Come and pick up your lunch. In CLB 514. Note the different room. CLB 514. Come get your lunch. It's a planning meeting today. It may be short because I think the House Democratic Caucus is meeting at 12:30. And also come in and check your due status and pay your dues. Thank you.
The majority leader has moved that the Senate stand adjourned until Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022 at 10 a.m. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate stands adjourned.